The Highveld region wants Eskom to reconsider the decision to decommission the Komati power station. It says the move will have a devastating impact on poverty-stricken areas that rely on the plant for economic survival. In fact, the union claims that impact is already being seen now. Let's speak to the chairperson in the region, Malekutu Motubatse, who's with us tonight. A very good evening to you, sir. Grateful for your time. You say that this process has led to abject poverty in the Nkangala and broader Mpumalanga areas. How so?
Thanks for hosting us. It is because Komati is now a skeleton power station. It is now because when you go to Komati, people who used to work at Komati, the hawkers, the contractors, they are no longer employed. They are living under abject poverty. So the closure of that particular power station created a mess for government, and also created a mess for Nkangala district, which is having 2 municipalities, which they were relying on Komati power station. One of them is Emalahleni, local municipality. The second one is Tifchwete local municipality. So the closure of that power station has created a mess. Our people are unemployed. Our people are living under abject poverty. Our people are hungry.
Well, Eskom, when it made the announcement about the decision to decommission Komati, in fact, in the statement, said this, that it had held extensive engagements with the employees, labor unions, the community, and all affected stakeholders, and communicated the requirement to shut down the plant timeously and clearly with everyone involved, and that in the process no jobs would be lost. What responsibility would you have wanted the utility to bear beyond the well-being of its staff?
It is not true that no jobs have been lost. In fact, thousands and thousands of jobs have been lost. That is why even Eskom acknowledged when they were here last week, Friday, together with Minister Pravin Gordhan, to say that maybe the decision to close Komati and it was not taken at a strategic time because people have lost employment, and they are now speaking about establishment of the training centers where people will then be taken there to train for farming. This is something that maybe they were supposed to have conducted before closing the power station, because our people are hungry now. They cannot wait for the training center to be built while they've got no source of income as we're speaking. So to say that no jobs have been lost, maybe on the side of Eskom employees, because yes, we can attest that Eskom has moved some of its employees to different power stations. But remember, Eskom as a power station, it does not only rely on its employees. For an example, when you enter a power station, you will find that there is a hawker there, a single mother who's selling maybe amagwinya or a packet of bananas. Currently, when you enter that particular power station, because there are no workers, you cannot find that particular worker because she doesn't have anyone to sell those bananas to.
What then is the alternative, though, if the utility is saying, and there was a bit of back and forth, especially in the last month, about job losses, because Energy Minister Gwede Mandashe had said that the process wasn't just because people had lost their jobs, and Eskom came back and said no permanent jobs had been lost. But overall, what would you have wanted the utility to do, given that the explanation for shutting down Komati was that it was old, it was expensive to run for very little return, and Eskom already does not have money to burn?
We are of the view that the first thing that was supposed to have been done, it was the creation of those projects. And they were supposed to be in place and supposed to have kick-started, as opposed to demolishing or closing a power station without any form of income, a source of income for those who were working in that particular power station. The view that we're raising and that we're emphasizing as well is that when you look into a power station, do not only look into Eskom employees, but look also into contractors, because in Eskom there are permanent contractors. For an example, those who are cleaning ash, those who are cleaning coal, those are permanent contractors in Eskom. So when you close a power station, you are therefore saying that those people must go and be subjected to poverty. That is what it is happening. So what we believe that maybe it should have happened. By the way, we are not even agreeing with the issue of consultation, and that it has happened and we have concurred. We have released so many statements, in particular then to say that closure of Komati power station is premature. What is going to happen is going to subject our people under abject poverty. So we believe that project was supposed to be in place, and those trainings and retrainings of people who must go and do farming and so forth was supposed to kickstart before they closed Komati power station.
But the horse has already bolted, hasn't it? Because the station closed in October last year. You're saying people are poor now, they're going hungry now. What is the alternative? What should happen at this moment?
What should happen is that we believe that, just for an example, Komati used to give us 1,000 megawatts. Currently, around 6, meaning that we're in short of 6,000. So if that power station was not closed, the situation of load shedding was going to be much better. So we now need to relook into this hurry exercise of closing power stations. We know now, Tembedile, that the next power station is Kemdale. So we are raising this frustration so that when the time that has been set to close power station is at least moved, because it does not do good to the people. So we are raising this frustration to say, government, as and when we are implementing, in the process we are destroying jobs, and we cannot have government that is destroying jobs instead of creating jobs. So that is why we are raising this frustration. We are not far from Komati. We go there on a daily basis, and we see how our people are being subjected to. So we are making a clarion call to government to say that rethink, reposition, and make sure that whatever decision that we are taking, it is not detrimental to the communities at large.
Are you saying, Mr. Motubatse, that government and Eskom should endeavor to keep jobs at any cost, or are you saying what needs to be sped up is the process to upskill people who are employed at places such as Komati, so that if it shuts down, right, they're able to seek work elsewhere, perhaps?
Like we have indicated, that before you close a power station, the projects that are in a pipeline, they must firstly be implemented. Because if ever you close a power station for a period of 2 years, you see, you can't postpone hunger. People cannot be hungry for 2 years. So what government must do is to make sure that those projects that they are bringing, they must be implemented before they close power stations. But again, we are saying, those power stations, some of them, because for example, we'll be told that Komati, it was polluting, the issue of environment and so forth. In our statement, we are saying that we can also look into the carbon capture that can be able to assist so that the jobs are reserved, and we don't have a perpetuation of unemployment in our region.
Mm. And where is the project now? Because there was supposed to be the Komati repowering and repurposing project. You mentioned earlier that much of the work, from your understanding, has not really got underway. How much has actually been done?
From where we are seated, Komati has just been closed, and now there are promises of training centers and training of people. So it is just a lot of empty promises. And the view that we are raising is that when or while these promises are being made, our people are sleeping without food. So it does not assist the process to impress the IMF and the World Bank why the communities are sleeping without food on their tables.
Do you find any comfort then in the fact that we've already had confirmation from Cabinet in the last few months that what's going to happen now, given the electricity emergency, the crisis in this country, there will be a delay in the decommissioning of some of the other coal-fired stations to be able to keep the lights on? Does that buy workers enough time, you think, to figure out what the future will likely hold?
Indeed, we welcome that particular posture, and we're even happy when the Minister of Electricity was saying those power stations, the likes of Kemdale and Grootfontein, who are supposed to be closed, they will have to extend because of the crisis that we are having of load shedding. But we are saying it should only be about load shedding, but it should also be about the well-being and the livelihood of our people.
Thank you very much for speaking to us there. Malekutu Motubatse, who's the NUM Highveld Regional Chairperson.